Do you have a one-year target for us on Bitcoin with and without the Bitcoin reserve?
Where will Bitcoin's price be 1 year from today? Is it too late for me to invest in crypto? Send this video to one friend, smash the like button. So much is happening in the crypto space, so let me reveal a few things to you. El Salvador just reached a 6,000 Bitcoin accumulation milestone. They are buying 1 Bitcoin every day. Cardano added 100,000 plus smart contracts in 2024. This kind of thing only tends to compound. Solana, their DEX volume reached $100 billion milestone again, and Ethereum L2s are exploding with growth. A lot of people think that it's too late to invest in crypto. A lot of people think that crypto is too high today. You could not be more wrong. You will miss out on the greatest life-changing opportunity of all time. You need to realize what I'm about to show you. Again, smash the like button. Do not be fooled. Even Michael Saylor is admitting now that the war on crypto is over.
I think this is incredibly bullish for digital assets. It's very good for the crypto industry. We're going to see a lot more pro-Bitcoin policies. We're going to see a digital assets framework. We're going to see an end to the war on crypto. We're going to see a lot of pro-business policies. And I think that clearly the SEC will be a big part of it. So it's above my pay grade to have an opinion on who it's going to be. But I think it's pretty clear the House, the Senate, the White House, they're all very pro-crypto. So I expect that we'll have a very supportive head of the SEC.
So look, most people know that Donald Trump is interested in making big property purchases when he gets into office. He wants to purchase something like Greenland, something like Canada, something like the Panama Canal. What most people don't realize is that Trump will be making a huge digital property purchase of Bitcoin, and that would actually be even way better for the US. Anthony Pompliano on Fox Business explains what's about to happen. Most people don't realize this.
President-elect Trump setting his sights on acquiring not just one, but multiple strategic locations, such as Greenland and the Panama Canal. Here with us now, Anthony Pompliano, professional capital management founder and CEO. And you say he should also be looking at buying as much Bitcoin as possible. Why?
Well, if you think about what he's trying to do here, right, is he's basically looking at strategic reasons to acquire physical property in order to advance the American ideals, ethos, and strategies. Well, what about the digital world? We live in a digital world. And so if you're going to go after the Panama Canal, there's obviously strategic reasons to do that. Greenland as well. Owning Bitcoin is digital real estate. There's only 21 million that will ever exist. We know other countries are mining, buying, holding Bitcoin. And so are we going to let these other countries be the leader, or are we going to be the leader? And I think that's really the decision they have to make.
Hey guys, Fold is the ultimate Bitcoin app. You can stack a lot of Bitcoin if you check your purchases on here first. Seriously, this is like an infinite Bitcoin glitch. You need to download this app and try it. Get the Fold card. You'll be glad you did. The crypto community got Donald Trump elected. The crypto community backed Trump in such a big way. We will turn on him if he doesn't do this. So he will be doing this because he doesn't want our support to dwindle. And they are crypto owners anyway. So there's so many obvious reasons why Trump is about to do this, and so many negatives if he doesn't do this. It's obvious what's about to happen.
Does that mean he has to create a strategic Bitcoin reserve, or else they turn on him?
I do think that that is a potential risk. And so, look, if you look at the administration, Trump owns Bitcoin and crypto. J.D. Vance owns Bitcoin, I believe. There's a lot of people in the administration. You just go through all the different roles that they've appointed people. And so these are Bitcoiners to a degree, or crypto holders that are going into the office. They're likely to go ahead and buy.
Well, they're going to get criticized for that.
They may get criticized for it, but also if you look at it right now, what is the United States doing? We're buying bonds. We're holding other assets. We have a president that's currently in office, and also politicians who are literally day trading assets.
Yep.
And so it's no different, right? I think the big story of 2025 is going to be that crypto has now grown up and is part of the traditional financial system. And there's pros and cons to that, but now we have a seat at the table. You saw that in the political arena in terms of donations and influence, but you also now are going to see it in the financial arena, and that is going to be a huge tailwind, I think, for Bitcoin and crypto in 2025.
Now, here's the thing. Let's get serious. Let's get real. Despite everything we've talked about, Bitcoin has already had one hell of a run-up. It actually reminds me of where the stock market was after it reached 15 years. So, is it too late to invest into this? Is it too late to buy crypto? People, please realize what's about to happen. If you take one thing away from this video, let it be this.
What do you say to people who say it has had a massive run? It's, mentally, it's difficult to kind of get on board at these levels when we know where it's been. And we've also seen that volatility. Somebody very smart told me, well, take 2%. And just money that, you're willing to risk and put it in. I still find that difficult to do.
If you go back to the 1980s or 1990s, buying the S&P 500 was real scary, but you were a genius if you did it in hindsight. And so same thing here with Bitcoin is you can look backwards and see how high it rose. But if you look forward and say, well, if this continues, which we have every reason to believe it will, buying today is the second best time to buy because the first best time was yesterday. And if we keep waiting, it's only going to get worse and worse. And so I think
I hear you. It's just hard to pull the trigger.
Of course, and that's true of all financial assets, right? I mean, think of a real estate market. If people will go and they'll say, oh, my God, I could have bought 5 years ago. Now it's at this price. I just can't wrap my head around that. Well, if you wait 5 more years, the dollar is going to continue to be devalued. And so usually if you decide, hey, I want to own something, go ahead and buy it.
Is it too late to invest in crypto? Well, Goldman Sachs sees major multinationals adding Bitcoin to their balance sheet. So now we're not even talking about just the U.S.
Could we see truly a lot of major multinationals putting Bitcoin on their balance sheet and that kind of thing?
I think it's conceivable, yes. And I think as we've started to see, over the last year and a half, a lot more clarity, probably outside of the US. I think there's obviously been a big spike in the valuations across the whole crypto suite, as we've seen since the US presidential elections. That obviously is driven by what we expect will be probably a more favorable regulatory backdrop, and that gives confidence to kind of the institutions more broadly.
So, the million-dollar question, how high can Bitcoin's price actually go? And now I tend to think, given enough time, the sky is the literal limit. But let's be smart. Let's actually put a time frame on it. There's going to be good years and bad years with Bitcoin. I think next year will be a good year. Hell, I think next year will be a great year for Bitcoin. So, tethered by the time frame of 1 year, what will Bitcoin's price look like 1 year from today? Comment your thoughts below. Subscribe to our channel. We put out one video every day, keeping you informed. If you're interested in making money, make sure you subscribe to Altcoin Daily. I really don't think Bitcoin stays below $100,000 for long. We all see what's coming.
Do you have a 1 year target for us on Bitcoin with and without the Bitcoin reserve?
With or without, we're going higher. I don't necessarily have a price, but I do think that if we go ahead and buy Bitcoin, what's interesting is we will not be the first country to do this. There's a lot of other countries who have already bought, they're mining, they're holding Bitcoin. What I do think is important, though, is America is the greatest capital market in the world. And so if America does it, it pretty much reduces all of the career risk, all of the critiques for all these other countries. And so Russia recently came out and they said, hey, we're mining Bitcoin. We're starting to use it in transactions. People are like, oh, that's Russia. We kind of don't like them. And so they're kind of in the corner. People look at El Salvador and they're like, oh, that's El Salvador. I couldn't point it out on a map.
But if they're doing it, it makes more of a case if your enemies are doing it that you should be.
Well, look, the United States took a pretty drastic action in terms of the sanctions that they went after individuals, country, and also took some of the Russian assets and said, hey, we're going to give to the Ukrainian people. When that happened, Bitcoiners came out and they said, you are actually going to further accelerate the demise of the U.S. dollar because now you have introduced this sanctions risk. There was a paper that came out of the Harvard Economics Department where they talked about, will countries now start to buy Bitcoin, not for price, not for the sovereignty, but actually as a sanctions hedge?
Russia.
And so Russia is actually doing that.
Yes.
Do you think they're the only one?
No.
I wouldn't bet on it.
I will say someone on this program on the network said the first 100K on Bitcoin was the easiest and it could easily get to 200K by next year. I'm like, it took us this long to get to 100K and you think 200K in the next year?
Some people are saying
Wild.
250.
I heard 500.
Unbelievable.
Wow.